Ida B, Chapter 28. If you're going to intercept somebody in the lavatory, you get, at best, about 2 chances a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. On Thursday morning, Claire faked me out. We were in the middle of free time when we could walk around the room without getting permission. So instead of raising her hand and asking, she went right up to Miss W's desk, talked to her, and was out the door. By the time I realized what was going on, Judy Stouterbaden had asked too, and we were at our limit. The morning was a waste. I focused on the afternoon. After lunch, during silent reading time, as soon as Claire's hand went up, so did mine, waving a little so it couldn't be missed. "Yes, Claire," Miss W said. "Are we supposed to read the story all the way to the end, or just the chapter break?" That was not the question I'd hoped for. I yanked my arm down and shoved my hand under my desk so Miss W would forget it had been raised. "To the end, Claire," Miss W said. Then she turned to me. "Did you have a question, Ida?" Now, if I said no, a clever Claire might figure something was up, and that would not be good. But I had not planned for this particular turn of events. I did the best I could. I was wondering in what grade you need to know how to spell the word predicament. 20 heads turned to look at the person who would ask such a question. 20 brains started turning the question into a big, juicy teasing. 20 bodies, I was sure, got ready to jump all over me as soon as I walked out the door at 3 o'clock. My efforts to avoid humiliation seemed to be wasted. Miss W smiled. "I don't know that predicament is on any specific spelling list, Ida. Why?" Paralyzed, my face on fire, I could only look at her, shocked at what I had done. Miss W, thank goodness, let it lie. Still, in that state of shock, I didn't even notice when, about 2 minutes later, Claire raised her hand, asked another question, and left the room. I was just starting to function close to something like normal again when I saw her walk back in, and slowly I realized what had happened. At 2:12 p.m., my last chance for reaching my goal on Thursday was gone. On Friday, wherever Claire went, so did I, about 8.5 paces behind. While she browsed for books in the classroom library, I sharpened my pencil till it was just a point and an eraser. Every time she walked near Miss W's desk, I got into the sprinter start position, legs bent, right leg out front, feet ready to spring, arms ready to pump. At 10:27, Miss W asked, "Ida, will you take this form to the office, please?" Now this was bad timing. My body drooped, and I gave her a look that said, "Do I have to?" without the words. "Ida, please." She put her arm out to me with the form, and her head went back to work. As soon as I was in the hall, I ran as fast as I could to the office, slowed to a walk 10 feet from the door, dropped off the form, and ran back to the room. My head just about spun all the way around on my neck looking for Claire. Sure enough, just as I feared, she was gone. I felt a little breeze across my back, turned around, and there she was, back from her morning trip. Claire didn't go all afternoon. I watched and I waited, but she waited longer. 20 minutes before the end of the day, I realized that I myself needed to use the bathroom badly. I'd been so focused on Claire that I hadn't noticed the pressure building, and there was no way I'd make it all the way home, thumping and bumping over the ruts in the road on that bus. Miss W gave me the all clear, out with no waiting release. Then I did the speedy, keep your feet low to the ground so you don't bounce too much, shuffle down to the lab. Took care of my business, opened the stall door feeling 100% better, and shot straight up in the air. Claire DeLuna was standing right in front of me, arms crossed, leaning against the sink. She was looking straight at me, waiting for me, alone, like I'd been trying to do her all week. If I had been any less shocked, I would have turned around and locked the stall door, but I was petrified. I was the statue of surprise, the Venus of dismay. I had been outplanned. "Why are you following me?" she asked. My mouth, which had been hanging open, shut itself for a second, then gave up and just hung there. "Are you trying to do something else mean to me?" she said. Well, I'd been so focused on getting Claire alone, and I was just so startled by her superior cleverness, and that she thought my following her was to do something nasty, that I couldn't remember what I wanted to tell her. As I stood there with my arms out, my head bobbing and my mouth babbling, Claire turned away. And as she walked out the bathroom door, she yelled back at me, "Just leave me alone." So there I was, a week of planning and trying my hardest, and everything was worse instead of better. It rained that afternoon, and all evening, this kind of rain that stings when it hits your skin. And that felt just about right.